No, that's like ND8. Were you already recording or what?
Yeah, but this is the preamble. This ain't going to be in the. I always you start
Let's
recording
scrub it.
immediately and then cut something that's good, like last week.
Yeah.
And then yeah, but unfortunately we've just been talking about absolutely nothing useful. So.
Yeah, unfortunately we can't talk about that. That is super ND8 for me as well.
This will just be the preamble. Just Fred saying we can't talk about this.
Yeah, secrets later on maybe.
Hey guys, it's Old Grumblers episode 3. We're going to talk about all the great Total War, the many Total War news that's happened since we last spoke.
The many Total War news.
There's been many news. There was a hotfix that fixed something that they broke in the last hotfix.
Did they break something else?
Probably. They just haven't noticed yet.
Yeah,
it came out 4 days ago.
Giving orders and giving orders and shit. Got broken. Oh, like when you're trying to like pull out units, they will like get out, but then they'll start fighting each other. Like you can see the AI is kind of like getting just don't know what to do because it's wanting to go back, but then it's also wanting to get away. So it's just kind of like piles into a line along the way, a little bit further away. So it's like.
They did do that thing about making it easier to pull units out of a combat, didn't they? Which I do think has improved chariots. May have broken other things.
It's all
at least chariots feel better now, so that's good.
I honestly haven't played this patch.
I did notice chariots were looking much better, but I've also noticed that sieges are so janky at the moment. I was playing Lizardmen. I was fighting a lizard. I was trying to get inside a Lizardmen city. I had the gate. I'd captured the gate. The gate was open. So I've got 6 units of Saurus, and I tell those units of Saurus to go inside the city. So what do you think they did?
They try and go up the walls.
Climb the ladders.
They went for the ladders. All 6 units decided to climb up the one bit of wall next to the open gate.
I like how both of us just like, they climb the ladders. They always do.
I love those things.
Foot soldiers yearn for
I'm just going to use the door, guys. I'm just going to... All these Saurus just bunched up around this fucking wall.
And foot soldiers yearn for the ladders like children yearn for the mines. It's constantly.
So aggravating.
Do you know what had good sieges, though? I went back and played Attila. Attila has good sieges. And Thrones of Britannia has like even better. Like they're like a little bit more finely tuned. So you have like the best sieges in Total War. I will die on that hill. It is the best ones. Some people might say Shogun. Shogun has good sieges. But man, Thrones of Britannia and Attila has really got that good sieges.
I've been thinking about going back to the old Total Wars. Mind you, I've actually seen a lot of people talking about the old Total Wars recently on like Reddit.
Yeah, it's one of those game mentalities right now on social media where old game good, new game bad. Which goes like it's just wild how wide that goes as well. Like people are already like nostalgia goggles or Warhammer 2, like it was way better. It's like, well, why don't you guys play that one instead then? Like Warhammer 2 had its ups and downs, but and like we complained about that one a lot as well. And in the end, if you go back and play that one, even ambushes are like bugged still.
Oh god, yeah, the ambush where they would. If you were being ambushed, didn't they just hang back and not want to engage you?
Yeah, you would just walk to the outline.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Oh god, yeah, that was trash.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Warhammer 3 is the better game, but on different things, maybe like diplomacy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Just looking at the Steam charts now for a selection of all Total War games, and pretty much all of them have just got like a not a big one, but Medieval 2, for example, has gone up like 1,500 players in the last month.
Ooh.
Wait, is that right?
I think it's because Warhammer 3 is just stale. Like Warhammer 2 was starting to get stale because we only got like a DLC per year, so there wasn't anything to do with. So people kind of got bored of Warhammer 2 already, and then Warhammer 3 came out. It was pretty cool. Everybody wanted to play Immortal Empires. A lot of new cool stuff. Like they reworked things. Immortal Empires, new DLC with a bunch of cool new units that were like okay priced. And then nothing happened for a good bit, and then nothing happened for a good bit as well. So everybody's just had really like a lot of time to get burnt out on every single patch. Like they don't give you anything new.
Yes.
No.
Speaking of a Total War DLC, what are our thoughts on Thrones of Decay? I mean, it's slated for December this year. It's November, 8th of November specifically.
I think it's going to be delayed at this point.
Thrones of Delay.
Was there not a developer post on some forum? I can't remember. I think it might be the Total War forum, where basically a developer said, "Yeah, basically we're going to have to reevaluate."
Yeah, there's been no
official announcement.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't see it coming out this, mostly because they always seem to slate a DLC for December and they've never hit it. So
no.
And why break that winning formula now?
I mean, it's like, on one hand, it is relatively fair enough because Sega and CA by default having some times at the moment, some struggling times, but then CA has just been like, right, so you'll feel sorry for us for that. How about we just piss you off in every conceivable other way? Because that's happened since we last convened. My God, CA has buried themselves in one of the deepest holes that I've ever seen.
I mean, in fairness, they've not dug themselves out of it, but at least they haven't been digging more. They haven't said anything in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, they put the shovel down. Which,
them saying absolutely nothing is apparently an improvement.
Well,
yeah. So
it was like every day they were just like banning people on forums or on Steam.
Yeah,
and it's just like that. No, it's like when someone if you get like
banning, yeah.
I'm not sure what it's like on Twitch or on YouTube. If you get like just someone that continuously comments, like the last thing you should do is talk to them or like publicly remove them. You can do this thing on YouTube where you hide people. They don't know that they've been hidden, but and no one else can see their stuff. But you can't do that on Steam. If you remove the post, people are going to be like, yeah, no, you removed the post. You cannot address and react to people criticizing you in such a drastic way because all it's going to do is validate what they've been saying and make you like a dipshit, which say it looks like a dipshit.
I can understand. I can imagine that if the Steam forum's already a cesspit, so I can imagine if you're trying to moderate them, that must be incredibly difficult. And also, if you've got someone coming in asking an honest question like, "How do I do? How do I recruit this unit?" You don't want that post to be filled up with people slagging off Creative Assembly for the DLC because it just doesn't make any sense. With that said, that was not the best way to go about it.
No. I think somebody just it got a little bit too much for someone there, and they just like went a little bit nuclear because everyone's people at some points, and they're just not gonna be able to handle it.
Yeah,
like I mean, sorry, you go on.
I don't envy any community manager because the shit they have to deal with must be horrific.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell my child this, like, it's okay if things get a little bit too much and you have a breakdown because, you're pretty small, you don't speak the language that well, and you don't have any money. So things get a little bit stressful, And then you're like, yeah, well, adults might be able to handle it a little bit better, but, months on end, yeah, someone's going to break, and you're just happy that they didn't hurt anyone.
Not to mention, I imagine a lot of them are under threat of being made redundant, so
yeah,
their ability to give a shit must be quite low.
It's like, so what did you do? Just post like Terminator GIF or something? Is go around blasting? It's like, this is me on the Steam forums. They're like, oh, was that good? Then it's like, no, absolutely. It was the worst thing I could have done.
I don't know if I can't remember what the reviews were like last time we got on, but Steam reviews for Warhammer 3 are not good. What percent? I think it's 20% positive, or 28% positive in the last 38 days, and then overall it's 60% positive.
I mean, that's still not great, is it? I don't think that's entirely fair. I'm going to get slagged off for this.
He's a shill.
No, cancel me. It's not the most controversial thing I'm going to say this podcast. But, I mean, Warhammer 3 overall is not that bad a game. I mean, it's janky as shit, but if someone said, would you recommend it? I'd still say yes, definitely. I mean, yes, it's janky as shit. And the more you play it, the more you will see the jankiness, but overall it's still just a really fun game that I've spent thousands of hours in. So yeah, I would suggest you should play it.
Yeah. I always compare normal, like my community, especially like my chat and myself, to the man in black or whatever it's called in Westworld. Have you guys ever seen Westworld? Basically, yes. Like it's this old dude that goes into like this super Western LARPing experience where everyone's just an AI robot and you can just shoot anyone and do anything you want to. And he's just been going there for like 40 years and knows every single nook and cranny of it. He's basically like the dude who uses every single exploit he can on every single thing all the time. And he just sits there and he says like, when you start looking at the wall, this is just paraphrasing, but when you look at the wall long enough, you start seeing the cracks a little bit more clearly than other people, because everybody else is like going, oh shit, this is real. This is like real life. I don't know how you can do anything, but he's just going around using everything. And that's just what the Total War community has kind of evolved into, because we don't get anything new. We always get to watch the same goddamn wall constantly. And of course, people get a little bored, start seeing the cracks form.
Yeah, I think that 60% is probably more a review of CA at the minute than anyone.
Yeah. And that's a fair review, to be honest, because they have been fucking dropping the ball.
Would I recommend, supporting the current stuff that CA is doing? Questionable. Warhammer 3, it is a decent game. It's fine.
It's one of the best strategy games out there. I mean, you can hate Creative Assembly for its DLC policy, but it's still a good game.
Yeah, there's this thing about like separating the art from the artist, and you've like sort of got to separate the company from the product, which is kind of impossible. But if you do that, then it's good.
If you can do that.
But if you can't, then oh boy.
I mean, I've also been going back to older Total Wars and stuff like that, because it's just, I don't know, when you guys were talking about the comments and things like that, like I live stream mostly, so I just sit there for like hours on end, and everybody comes in and just complains about stuff all the time. So I'm just like, it's isn't good vibes anymore. So I'm just gonna do old stuff and other things that people might have like nostalgia. Like, I don't know, I do Throwback Thursdays now. So we did like Attila, we did like Tiberian Wars.
Tiberian Wars.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Except for one dude, he just came in and like backseated all the time. Because nobody can be good at a game. Like I never actually played Tiberian Wars, Command & Conquer 3. I missed it at that point. I don't remember what was happening there. Oh yeah, I think I was actually in the army back then. So I just didn't play games. So this dude just comes in and just like, has to tell people backseats, but at the same time, push someone else down constantly while giving tips. And it just gets like really boring with that. But otherwise, it was a pretty cool game. I was like asking everybody, so which campaign should we do first? The entire chat goes like nod.
It's the obvious choice.
Yeah,
GDI
it actually was
so dull.
Yeah, GDI was way better though. Jesus, their stuff is better. Hands down.
That's why you don't play the fuckers. Useless.
Yeah.
I think more games should have really janky FMV. It would be. Can you imagine Warhammer 3 with FMV? 1,000 times better already.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I agree with you. I would have.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, like they should just hire like really off actors as well. Like, have like some like Robert De Niro at current age, but CGI him into Grimgore.
Oh my god!
Like use so much CGI that it doesn't even like exist anymore.
You're
like, what is that monster?
Oh my god!
It would be perfect.
Who did it say?
Samuel L. Jackson as Manfred von Carstein.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. That'd be just, so good. So apart from Tiberius, have you been playing any other?
Yeah, well, we did like all of Battle for Middle Earth, those old things. We did, man, I wasn't ready for this question, actually. I've been doing a ton of stuff. That's been good. I've just been enjoying myself greatly, actually.
Having a lovely time.
At least someone has, Me
Have you not been having a lovely time?
I had a mental breakdown on Monday. You were there.
Oh, yeah. I was there. At least you had fun.
Well, it was amusing. We'll circle back to that.
We'll circle back to our Age of Wars 4 adventure.
Age of Wars 4?
Sorry.
Age of Wars.
Age of Wars.
Oh, there's so many fucking games now.
I always call it Age of Empires.
We're in agreement on this, all right? We both are just figments of monsters creeping dementia, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Quite a few things are.
You think he's wearing the dressing gown because he's just ready for bed? No. He wears that all day, every day.
I'm just sitting in a room talking to myself.
Pretty much. Wake up.
I mean, what I literally am doing.
And that's true. It's weird when you think about it.
There are so many good games, though. What was the best game you guys have played lately, though?
Okay, I'm going to say something very controversial now.
You say one.
Because
I don't think enjoyment can be controversial.
Well, you say that, but I'm going to say something that is going to get me. It's going to get me cancelled. It's going to get me cancelled. People are going to. It's going to be too controversial. It's going to get me cancelled. But I've been playing the 40k CRPG Rogue Trader, and it's better than Baldur's Gate. I've said it.
I haven't played it, but those are some bold words.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can get cancelled for just being wrong. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't tried the new beta, but it seems cool. I'm very excited for a release though on it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I mean, to be honest, me saying I like it is probably the kiss of death, considering what happened to Lamplight.
That's true.
But
I even played that game on stream. It was like, Monsters League recommends this. He likes it. I like it. I like it. I was like, it's all right, I guess.
That is a hill I will die on. I think that is a really good game, and I don't know why no one liked it. But I really like Rogue Trader.
I just didn't play it.
No, there is that. But Rogue Trader is really good, and I think the you know what I like about it is the combat's better. It does tend to like throw shit tons of stuff at you, but it's fun to equip a flamer on your Sister of Battle and let her roast some heretics. I can't see a problem with that. So
I mean, it is Pathfinder in the end. Well, old Alcat, and they do difficulty really poorly. I love the Pathfinder games, but Jesus Christ, those difficulty curves. It's like, first Kingmaker, it's like, one of the hardest fights. First quest you get. Just go clear out the cave with the bugs. It's easy. It's not actually, though.
It's funny you say that, because I mean, the beta's super fucking janky to the point where if you complete the first area in the wrong order, it just breaks and you can't get any further. But completing the first area, I was having a lovely time, no problem. Then this fucking Chaos Space Marine turns up, just one fucking Chaos Space Marine, and he completely fucking bodied my entire team in one combat round. Like, he just went, I'm just going to blast you, I'm going to charge, I'm going to kill you two, and I was like, what? But why is this so hard?
Yeah. I'm also going to say that even though I think their difficulty is so bad, I'm on my fourth playthrough of Wrath of the Righteous.
I've not played any of their other games, but I want to.
It's actually really good. The only problem is that since they do difficulty so poorly, it's like your build for classes, since you have 75 different archetypes, some of that, and now they're releasing DLC with even more archetypes. If you do the wrong build, it will make more difference for the difficulty than your actual difficult setting. So it's harder to do the easiest setting with the worst build than the hardest setting with a good build.
Shit.
So usually, if you want to play those games, you have to have a little document. Obviously, you don't have to, but it makes it so much easier, man. First time around, I just played I just did this janky build that would fights hit 8 times every turn and could crit for half a boss's health. And this time I'm following a guide as well, and it's this dude can solo the game now, and I'm playing on the hardest as well. So it's just insane.
Oh, that does sound. I will say, when you level up in Rogue Trader, you just have this shit ton of skills, 50 different skills, and they're all very wordy, and you have to try and work out. And I'm sure there's skills that are good and skills that are bad, but I'm just not smart enough to work out which ones are which.
That does sound like an Alcat game. And then you can also count on in the start that a third of them just probably won't work or do what you think they do. So it's just.
Yeah. I mean, Baldur's Gate does still have all of the voice acting, which Rogue Trader does.
And motion capture for 250 actors.
Yes, that is fair, because the animations in Rogue Trader are janky, but you can play a complete Imperial arsehole, which I've always wanted to. So I've always wanted to demand an Imperial Guardsman tell me something, and then when he does, execute him for doing it. That's the kind of bastard I want to be, and I get to play out that fantasy in that game. So I've been really enjoying that. Anyone else?
I don't play much. I've been playing a lot of Phasmo with my friends, Phasmophobia. Get into that in the spooky season. That's great fun.
Is that the ghosty capture game?
Yeah. You look around for ghosts, find different bits of evidence. I've also got where is it? There it is. There's the quest. The quest free. Very good. Playing that in VR. That's very fun.
Oh, that's the new one.
It's really good.
Look at me, some money bags over here. La-di-da.
I need to make one video of it, then I can write off a tax. But
oh yeah, fair.
Nice. Yeah, smart.
Yeah, playing Phasmo and that is really, really fun until you shit your pants.
So is that where you have to like talk to the ghost to get it to respond to you?
Yeah, there's different bits of evidence, and one of them is the spirit box. I don't normally handle that. More of a grand scheme, sit in the van.
I had one of my friends install this improperly, and he started this on the stream in French. So he has had like a Google Doc, and he was like, "Oui, le petit ghost." He has had like Google Translate, try to like translate. Are you here? Are you angry at me? And just in French, but he doesn't speak any French. It was just goddamn hilarious. One of the best things I've seen, I think.
Did the ghost respond in French? So it was a French ghost.
Yeah, it was.
Fair enough.
So it can only. I never played it, but apparently you can only talk. Well, he had to talk to it at least in French. I was just laughing too much to really pay attention if he ever got an answer. If the ghost actually speaks French, I guess it speaks, it understands it at least.
Makes sense. You speak to it in French, it will talk. I mean, otherwise, it's just probably going to be confused.
It kind of talks like Bumblebee out of the Transformers films. It just like snips a load of radio clips together. So you'll be like on the thing going, oh, where are you? And it'll go, come on, to the left. Which is very jarring.
No, I wouldn't like that. Oh, no.
It's great.
I don't like spooky games.
The ghost AI has such comedic timing, because you'll be looking around for like hours, we haven't found anything, and then I'll just like say to my friend, like, I'm beginning to think this place isn't haunted, and then immediately it like something just runs out, or there's a big noise, or it throws a book at you, and because you're like so focused in on, all right, have I seen a temperature change or anything, it gets you every time, and it's so goddamn funny.
I haven't played that. I'll have to try that. It sounds good.
We should do a 3-player. That'd be a great time. Kind of missed the boat on the old Halloween thing, but boat schmo,
It's fine. I think the best game I played last month is RoboCop. It's so good. I played through it all, and then was like, man, that was good times. I want to play that again. And I've just been watching like video reviews and stuff like that of it as well. Seeing people gleefully kind of playing through it as well. It's like, it's stupid and I love it. I'm not gonna defend myself.
So it's one of the questions I had about this game is does it sort of, because obviously RoboCop was quite satirical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Does the game still have that same?
Yeah. The game understands the mission. They really liked the RoboCop movies. You can definitely tell they didn't have the biggest budgets, but they did understand the RoboCop franchise.
Great. I'm gonna have to get that now.
Stuff like that.
They even have that they actually have that as a side mission where you have to go through movies, and it's just some other movie that is like Living Dead Robot Man or something like that, VHS tape. And they're like, yeah, the director actually didn't want to pick that one up at first because he didn't understand the satire. So his wife had to convince him of doing it, and that's exactly what happened to Verhoeven because they didn't want to pick up RoboCop first because they didn't understand the satire of it.
Oh, that's awesome! Oh, I need to play that now. I'm gonna have to put that in my list.
Dude, it's fantastic, honestly.
I have such a pile of shame of games that I need to play. So like, especially once I got Steam Deck, I don't know about you, Mons, but I always see stuff. I'm like, oh, that'd be really good to play in the Steam Deck. And then it gets to like 10 p.m. and I'm like, I kind of just want to go just put TV on and fall asleep. I don't want to play some games, and so I've just got this massive thousands of games that I need to play. I never get around to.
Yeah. I've got like 4 or 5 JRPGs, which people said are really good for the Steam Deck. So I've got these 4 or 5 JRPGs installed, and they're all those 300-hour odd JRPGs.
I was just gonna say, like, what do you mean 4 JRPGs? Has this man never played a JRPG before? Like you got a kid as well. Let's just install one and you're set until 2024 late winter, you know?
Yep, I know. It's awful. And I keep thinking I need to take it with me in the car so I can play it in the, because I'm one of those people that can just like read a book and play video games in a car without feeling car sick. And my wife always prefers to drive, so I let her drive. And I keep forgetting. We get down to the bottom of the road and I think, shit, I should have brought my fucking Steam Deck. But yeah, I also have a pile of shame.
Yeah, I've done two. I think I've done 2 JRPGs on the Steam Deck. I did Ni no Kuni 1, and I did Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate, and each of those, I think it was about 35-ish hours each, which is like that's relatively quick. I did a lot of side content, but if you look at the how long to beat, like I've basically just done like the bare minimum. And
yeah, I've actually got quite far in Final Fantasy 7, but I haven't played it in so long that I really think I'm going to have to restart it again, because otherwise
it makes you feel any better. I finished the last probably third in one sitting, and I still didn't know what was going on. It's cool, and the combat's pretty fun, but like the plot, I'm just like, all right. So there's this guy, there's a Sephiroth guy, right?
Yeah.
I think he was a soldier with the Cloud guy, and we're taking down Shinra, I think, who's this company that's bad because they take Earth energy.
They're bad, yeah.
And that's about as far as I got.
That's pretty much the story, to be honest. Just stick with that, it's fine.
And then, of course, Cloud dresses a woman, which is just based beyond belief.
So many fucking mini games in that game. It's so irritating.
Oh man, new Yakuza as well now, or Like a Dragon. If you guys ever want to play mini games,
my pile of shame. Don't worry, all the Yakuza games, they're right there.
I did a 12-hour stream of Yakuza Kiwami, and I mean a good 2.5 or 3 hours of that was just mahjong. It's me playing mahjong, and it's like the most dramatic cinematic as well. Every time he gets like mahjong, he like slams the table, and you know, like the camera zooms in and everything. It's excellent.
That does sound pretty amazing. That sounds good. But we also played I'm going to Age of Wonders.
Oh, yeah,
Age of Wonders 4.
You got it.
We're circling back. See, segue.
Yeah. Very nice.
So, Fred, have you played Age of Wonders 4?
Yes, I did today.
New DLC.
Yeah.
It's good. With birds and guns.
It's good. Yeah. It's good DLC. Bit expensive. I didn't realize it was
Flintlock
like
Fantasy, as it's called.
Yes.
Well, not the birds part, but like Flintlocks and Fancy. It's actually called Flintlock Fancy, and Warhammer was actually the one that invented that. That's the one original thing Warhammer did, except for Skaven, I guess.
I was going to say Skaven, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the DLC. I like it. £17 that's a bit steep, if you ask me.
That is quite.
I didn't know it was that much.
How much it was? No,
but it is that much.
How much was the last DLC? Because it was on sale.
$10.
Like
£8.50.
That is
half price.
Increase.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but also they actually give you twice as many things.
Yeah, there is a lot.
I was talking about that
stuff.
I was talking about that on stream. They had like the last one was pretty bare minimum, but it was $10, and if you really liked it, you got like the dragons and 2 tomes and a couple of new units. So the 2 new tomes were like okay, they were pretty strong and they were fun. The dragons were like a dragon. You customize that to the bear like as you could, like maybe bare minimum, like new head and different horns. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? It would look shiny for different elemental things. But in the end, it was a dragon that either did physical or elemental damage, and a couple of new units and 2 tomes, with like new mutators for the map, stuff like that. But this one has at least four new tomes. It has a new culture, the Birdmen. Oh yeah, the dragon one also gave like crocodile people. Yeah,
lizard folk.
Yeah. So this one has bird people, but it also has the new main weapon. And then the golem update is pretty like extensive as well, with like the new weapon forge, how golems work, and a bunch of like vassals and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's one of those like, imagine if for people who don't play Age of Wonders and want to like take this to Total War, imagine if like Shadow of Change released, and it was really expensive, but you also got like a race rework, you got like extra like more reworks based in systems for everybody and things like that, and it would be like, well, the price is still steep, but at least you got a little bit more for it.
What you mean, like we were promised?
Yeah, like we were promised. Man, because I'm very, very excited to see what the hell a Nurgle rework is, because the Siege rework was it wasn't any. There wasn't any. I'm just gonna I'm gonna die on that hill. They like fine-tuned a couple of things, removed some things from like the change of the ways.
Yeah.
And then nothing.
No one got a rework.
No.
They can try and say that I don't remember if Cafe changes were a rework, but I mean, it was just kind of like fixing a system that was just so fucking hard and bad. Like the harmony thing was a good change, but I wouldn't call that a rework. That's like one mechanic got changed. Like remember when
the mechanic wasn't
like
important either.
The Empire got reworked and they gave them the Imperial Authority thing, and they changed like literally everything. I think all their unit stats got tweaked at least a little bit. Everything changed. Whereas this was just like, oh, it's the same faction, but
I mean, the Empire rework is still controversial to this day in some circuits, because it's like after a while you're just gonna pile on authority.
Oh yeah, I've been playing
and where prestige, like you're just gonna have infinite amounts of it after a while. So it just doesn't matter after bits.
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit, and I think I got up to like 25, and then I was like, yeah, I should probably start doing some confederations.
It's like the Conclave influence for Chaos Dwarfs. It's like, oh yeah, I really need this. I really need this. And then as soon as you like hit the last thing, it's like useless.
You don't need it anymore.
Yeah. And then you're just piling on and having more than ever anyway.
Still better than, nothing, which is what we got.
Yeah, still true. But it's, I know Monsters asked like, what were they, like the Nurgle tech tree, like, why is it just like why is it like Realm of Chaos focused all the time? And I know 100% why. Because they didn't do anything with it. It was designed for Realm of Chaos. And that's where it ended.
Boggles my mind. They must have known Immortal Empires was going to be a thing. So why did they design an entire tech tree around the Realm of Chaos?
I think I know this as well. It's because they did Realm of Chaos, thought other people will handle this. And then other people didn't have time to handle that because they were making Mortal Empires, which is quite a big task as well. And they just didn't have enough people.
Which is bizarre, considering how many people they have.
Had.
So you had to, had. It's just, I can't wrap my brain around how it was so mismanaged. I can't imagine that anyone in Creative Assembly didn't look at this and go, well, this is going to be a problem, isn't it?
They probably did, but management is just notoriously dog shit. And notoriously doesn't listen to anyone. So they're probably just like, I don't care, the game will work.
I think a lot of people saw like, this is going to be a problem. And then they had the list of problems that were larger, going to be bigger problems. And it kind of like got pushed down up until, you find new problems that are bigger all the time as well.
Yeah. We're complaining about Total War again.
Anyway.
Age of...
I thought this was... I was just trying to segue back into it because I know we're like a Total War-centric podcast. I was like, well, this is going to be a good segue over to Throne of the Case. We can do a little bit like more in-depth in this one. And you're like, no? Age of Wonders has bird people.
It does.
And they're very fun. I did a shoehorn bill faction. And they all looked angry and they had guns.
What more do you need?
That's fair.
In the multiplayer, however, that's bad.
Yeah. So we played some multiplayer, didn't we?
Generous.
Yeah. We were going to drag Fred in as well, but I'm going to be honest. I think Fred basically dodged a bullet there, Neo style, because I want to say it was about an hour and 20 minutes that we tried to play was an unmitigated disaster.
Yes, we had 3 whole games in that much time. God, we're just that good. So first game, let me catch you up. First game we played, and I think it was working fine for me, but you disconnected, and then every time you tried to reconnect, it crashed.
Yeah.
So,
the game just the entire game bombed out.
So happy. Second game actually worked fine, but apparently when you put teams on, the AI is just like, oh, we're at war immediately, so I'm going to kill them as fast as I can. My first army got taken out in like 3 turns, and then Monster's first city got taken out in under 10. So that's game 2. And then
because the AI start off, it seems like the AI starts off with at least a stack and a half. I'm assuming that they do anyway, and that's to sort of help them expand because they're probably shit. But if you start with teams, of course, they just go, oh look, there's this guy. Let's curb stomp him. So at turn 3, you're dealing with a stack and a half when you've only got 4 guys, maybe if you're lucky.
Oh, did you do the story map, the first one?
We did the Seals of Power, whatever it's called. Is it Seals of Power?
Yeah, it's like the DLC map, right? It's the first one.
There's the Freed Lands of Menuhari, and then there's the other one, the Sealed one. We did that. And then game 3.
Because I tried like the first map today, and you start with like 2 giant infestations.
Oh yeah, they kicked my ass.
Yeah, so like if you're alone, they just keep on coming all the time. I don't know how it was in multiplayer because I assume it's just the same. But I was playing on like hard, and the dudes were just sending like stacks of tier 3 and 4 units from the get-go, and it turned like 20. It was starting to become like a mythic tier 5 units. And I was just like trying to get to tier 3 units because I was barely surviving constantly every single fight because I knew that if I lost like more than 2 units, it would be game over. And I just tried and tried and tried and tried. But then you get like these quests to also go and get them. And you have to go and get one of them. And then that goddamn mega bird golem of ancient times comes around and like comes from the left as well. And you're like, all right, so tomorrow I'm gonna basically, and I was just doing like a meme build basically, but next time I'm gonna go like goddamn gunpowder underground orcs or something, sturdy as shit with evasion. But they're like, yeah, you can come in here to my realm. There's one entrance and it's heavily guarded,
and all my guns are pointed at it. Yeah. A giant Acme cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
little target placed right by the entrance.
That do it.
Like, what's this?
So second game didn't work very well because they took us out.
Just got wiped.
And then what happened to third game?
Well, you were like, all right, so we'll do teams, but we'll put 3 other AIs and have them all on their own team.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have half chance then. But that still means that you're all immediately at war, and rather than going for each other. They went for monsters. He got pulled into a battle with a dragon, which he did very well in. I don't think you won.
Took the fucking dragon out.
You took the dragon out.
Put a cap in his ass.
And on my screen, I was just sat there staring at my guys, couldn't do anything, and the only solution was to reset the turn. And at this point, I was just so done. So we called it night. So yeah, the multiplayer is balked. I don't know how. I can't imagine it's very high in their to-do list because, like, how many people are realistically playing multiplayer games of this? I think it's very small.
I think they did actually say that they've changed the build and that should fix all the desyncs, so...
I'm not trying to get monsters. You can't make me.
Come on, you want to. You know you want to.
I really don't.
Yeah, you do. Come on, it's fun. It'll be fun. Yeah, so it might be fixed now. I don't know, but... Yeah. Single player works great, though.
Yeah, single player, great fun. Love the new culture, love the new units. A little bit frustrating to use, but that is just part of the fun. Of like, if someone walks up to them, they can't fire, I'm just like, fuck.
Oh, it's a pain in the ass, isn't it? And then you have to move, but then you can't shoot because it takes all 3 of your move points to shoot. The only thing I would say is that the gun people are effectively evil. So if you want to be a gun person, you have to be evil. You don't get whereas a lot of the other ones
well, they are chaos inclined. You don't need to be evil for chaos.
No, but they're more aggressive.
Yeah, the war spoils thing, you need to be like attacking free cities and other empires.
Yeah.
To get any of those.
They're probably the faction where you probably have you can't really make friends with them.
Oh yeah, you don't get
really well.
That's another thing. You don't get whispering stones. Like
no,
your first friend is always like a free city, and you give them the stone, and then you always end up either vassalizing them completely or absorbing them later on, which is like a really great boost, gets you a free city basically. See what I did there? And having no whispering stone, and the only way to interact until you get the the affinity whatever to get a whispering stone is these intimidation points, which means you need to attack. It's a real pain.
Yeah, and you don't get any war spoils for attacking neutral stuff. It has to be free cities or other players. So the only way you can do that is by fighting them to impress them. But
kill all your units. Want to be friends?
That kind of cuts into the exploration. I love the thing I love about Age of Wonders 4 is like wandering around and clearing the map and exploring and stuff. And that's just sort of more like, no, go and fucking kill this guy. Just kill him. Don't do anything else. Kill this fucker. So that's the only thing I would say is that it's a bit of a shame that they're not a little bit more neutral. But I mean, it's it's a mechanic, I guess.
It's interesting how
it's just a bit more of a farce.
It's interesting how they release a DLC that is clearly like pretty expensive because it's $20, right? The base game is 30. What is it? It's
£42 right now, but it's 30% off at the minute.
Yeah, so like it's still like half of the big base game almost.
Yeah, it's not far off.
Well, yeah, and it's still like 80% positive.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like once again, we dive into like what do you get for the money? Why did Shadow of Change get such a low rating?
Shadow of Price Change. You said it with I made that joke in a video. I was very proud of it.
It's really good.
Thank you. But yeah, you said it with the when you're going through all the dragon stuff. It is twice the amount of content or more than the previous DLC, and it is twice the price. So even though it is expensive, it does make sense given like the price of previous content. But if you look at Total War, it's like so much more expensive than any DLC that has ever come out, and it's just not more content. Like, how much more expensive is it than the old Chaos Dwarves? It's the same as the Chaos Dwarves, never mind. How expensive is it than Champions of Chaos, which has 4 lords, came with a whole big ass rework, a lot of units, fair enough recolors, but still a lot of units. It's £8 more for 1 less lord, no rework, and I don't think
you got a free DLC lord. You got Be'lakor as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Should always count the free DLC lords.
It just doesn't make sense. And then if you go further back, of course, into like Silence and Fury, it just makes zero fucking sense.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is, but you know, when you're funding hyenas, it's got to come from somewhere.
At least I don't have to do that anymore, so that's
true.
A bonus.
But I really like. I have been saying this for months, but I really do believe this. Well, months ago I said that Creative Assembly is going to go into like a really big make it or break it period, and I really think we're in the middle of that right now, where everything is just really. What's the word? Volatile, and everything is like making big splashes, and everything is just trying to form into something cohesive. And it's going to be really interesting to see what Shadow Change, what Thrones of Decay is going to become. Very interesting.
Got Shadows of Price Change, got Thrones of Delay. What's the
I
next one called?
Oh god, yeah. Well, they did have a roadmap, didn't they? And
did they give it a title?
Oh yeah, because it's supposed to have like the Nemesis crown as well, isn't it? Or was that the next one?
Oh yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the roadmap.
I'd completely forgotten about that. But I mean, I will say that it does seem like I've got hope for Thrones of Decay simply because it seems like the community turning around and telling Creative Assembly to get its shit together does seem to have actually made them start getting their shit together, which is good.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't condone sort of abusing Creative Assembly employees, but I think the general sort of backlash has sort of made them realise they can't just phone it in anymore. That they actually need to do stuff.
I'm always curious about how much that is CA and how much that was Sega coming in. Because I think Sega is getting also pretty nervous because they're losing RTS. They had like a firm grasp on RTSs there for a bit, with all the studios they own, and now like Company of Heroes 3 failed, and then now Warhammer is not doing well, and Pharaoh didn't do well supposedly. Well, we don't have numbers yet, so who knows? But it doesn't look good for them anyway.
Yeah,
so I wonder if Sega is where it's like it's time to get her shit together.
I think will probably be in a lot better place to know what's going on once the layoffs have actually like concluded. Oof, just looking at Pharaoh, it's at 900 players right now. That's not good. Anyway, yeah, once the layoffs have actually, I'm not saying once the layoffs, we'll know what's going on with our video game. Obviously, people's jobs are much more important than whatever happens with a stupid video game.
It's an awful. I don't know when they're being actually laid off, but it's rough to be laid off at this time of year.
Yeah.
That's just really shit, to be honest. Going into Christmas and just not knowing if you're going to have a job anymore.
It is truly awful, and obviously, like the main thing is, it's awful for those people, and we feel absolutely terrible about it. But once that stuff has like gone through and sees out the other side, whatever's left, we'll probably have, I don't know, they're going to have to like release a new updated roadmap of like, right, now that we've had our restructure and we know who is working on what, this is what we're going to do going forward. And one of two things is going to happen, I think. It's either going to be a complete massive company refocus to funnel more resources at Total War to try and make some money, or it's going to reduce down even more and the content is going to be sparser and sparser to try and save money. And I'm honestly not sure which one it's going to be. And I'm not sure which one is going to be better.
Yeah, I mean, there was that, what's his name? Bellalua? The guy who did that video about, he had a bunch of sources from CA, basically.
Oh, Bellular.
That's the one, thank you. I was just making noises with my tongue. Basically, he came up with a bunch of information from sources within Creative Assembly, and I'm assuming that's because there's people in Creative Assembly who are under threat of redundancy, or either have been, said they're now working their redundancy period, who probably don't give a flying shit anymore about, keeping stum about what goes on in Creative Assembly. And to be honest, a lot of the stuff was kind of stuff that we've always really sort of suspected, but just to hear the confirmation of, yeah, this is the way Creative Assembly works and it's fucking bonkers is okay, fine. But one of the things was sort of like the way it's almost like they're squeezing the Total War lemon to get all the delicious Total War juice out, and now they've realized there's nothing left. They can't. They're piling more stuff on top of this engine that can't deal with it anymore, and they can't keep doing that. It's got to the point where trying to make small changes to the game is basically breaking other things because the game is so fucking wonky. The game engine is so fucking wonky that it just can't deal with it anymore. So obviously they've got this massive tech debt where they really should have been, sorting this stuff out while the sun was shining, and they haven't. And now they're having to sort it out while they're bleeding money and under huge amounts of scrutiny. So I really hope that they get their shit together. But I'm also concerned that it might come to the point where they just go release another Total War game based on the old engine because the new engine isn't ready, which I think I've heard that they're working on or something. And it just flops massively because they're doing the same shit that they've been doing for the past 5-7 years, and it's not working anymore.
Yeah, you become the engine problem is definitely a good point, because it's like, even if the content was coming still to 1.3, how much can the engine actually realistically take? And it's not like they can just be like, okay, new engine, just plop everything over. I don't know the first thing about game coding, but I can't imagine that you can just be like, oh, well, if I just open this project and the new engine, it'll just work.
From the Glassdoor reviews, they said most of it is just cowboy coding. So you just put no framework or anything like that. It's just individual type of coding that they put on top of each other all the time. So that's why some stuff will affect something completely different, because they some of their code is just so different from someone else's. This is Glassdoor reviews. Who knows if that's actually the case? But it definitely does look like that's the case with how things are affecting other things, and how they previously said that it is a little bit of a spaghetti code as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. And I also would say that that's not unique to the way Creative Assembly work. It would be nice to think that all the code that's written in the world is written in a nice framework, and some of it is, but it never stays that way for very long. So what Creative Assembly have done is not unique in any way, shape, or form. There's plenty of large institutions, such as the banking sector, that work on absolute fucking hopes and dreams and spiderwebs. But it's obviously not working for Creative Assembly anymore, because they can't. I think the reason we're seeing such long content droughts is simply because they are struggling to actually implement stuff.
I always assumed it was because it was just 5 people working on it. They had to do an entire DLC. That's 5 people working on it. Then obviously you have 10 artists and animators and
18 project managers.
Stuff like that. But 5 people actually doing coding and stuff like that, and then somebody come in can we make this man sit on a train? There's like,
Nope.
I don't know. We can try. Like, we should try that. And
He spent like 12 days writing code.
Yeah, and then it's like, it didn't work. And they're like, we gave it a try. That's just what I always assume. Like, way too little people doing it, and not little people, but like too small amounts of people.
Shall I remove the code? I'm going, don't have time for that. Just leave it in there. It's fine. We might use it later.
Well, so one thing that I know about CA is that they have a tremendous amount of content that will never see the light of day. That they make like a zillion goddamn things that they're like, okay, we made this, and it just doesn't work. It's not good, and we're not going to release this with the game. And they're like, all right, fair dinkum. And that's like one of the reasons why you had the rattling gunner code and like voice lines and stuff. Well, not code, but voice lines in the base Warhammer 2 game, because that shit just didn't work at release. And things like that. And they just had like an amazing amount of stuff that just didn't work really. So I get my guess is like some of that stuff just compounds until you have like small things that work, and then you just try to put that into some DLC at some points.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so it sounds like they've just got massive tech debt, and it's just not going to work anymore.
This one had faith.
I don't know. What do you guys think is going to be in Throne of Decay, though?
No.
Do you guys think they're actually going to do anything? Are they going to rework the tech tree? Or are they actually going to add in something good?
I think the tech tree is the minimum.
If they don't rework that fucking tech tree, I'm going to lose my shit with them.
The thing is, though, you bring up a good point here, because they can rework the tech tree and then sell it off as the rework. Because that's the equivalent of what the fucking Saint rework was. aka jack shit.
I think like Kairos didn't get a change in his tech tree except for like some things, but he even had like stuff in his tech tree for like the removed shits that they removed from Changing of the Ways. I don't know if they changed that now.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah. So I'm like I don't even have the energy to like be hyped or be disappointed later nowadays. I'm like, maybe it's just gonna be bad.
I remember like every DLC announced for like Warhammer 2, I was hype as fuck. Like, I can't wait to see what they've added this time. These days I'm just like, oh god, another DLC. How expensive is it going to be? How disappointing is it going to be? What's going to be broken this time?
At this point, I feel like Total War. I feel like how I felt when my cat came through the cat flap, which is just to my right, came through the cat flap, and then went and threw up all over the mat, and I just kind of went, fine, whatever. It's kind of like I don't, I don't hate the cat. It's an animal. I can't hate it. It's a cat. It's cute, right? It's fine. But it threw up on the mat, and does that piss me off? Yes. Do I have the energy to feel disappointed about it anymore? Not really. It happens every week at this point, to be honest. I'm just like, fine, whatever. I guess I'll clear that up in a minute.
Yeah, I can say that I hope they rework the tech tree. They do a little bit for Kugath. They do whoever is going to be the new dude. Personally, I think they even said it was going to be Tamar Khan. I thought he was like going to be a warrior of chaos instead, because he's a warrior of chaos. He's a mortal dude, isn't he?
I thought he was a demony boy.
Was he? One of those... Wait, did I misremember this? Who the hell am I thinking of?
I thought he was who is the plague bearer? I thought he was like a plague bearer boy.
This is a Kurgan champion, son of the great Kurgan, master of hosts, bringer of desolation, and the favourite of Nurgle. One of the greatest Kurgan fucking hell.
Yeah, so he's a champion of Nurgle.
Yeah. Isn't Festus just a regular Nurgle guy as well? What if they just did like a switcheroo? That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he's a warrior of chaos, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but Festus is also like, he's like interesting because he like the most interesting thing he does is that he invades Altdorf and summons Kugath, right? In the end times. And they kind of like placed him near there as well, because otherwise he would just kind of travel around. Like all of Champions of Chaos were kind of like put in where they would be in the end times, which was kind of interesting. Except for
the only problem with Festus is he only has like 2 dark fortresses anywhere near him compared to everyone else who
Oh yeah.
Like it's surrounded by the fucking things.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. You can always travel north, I guess.
Nurgle just always gets like the shit end of the stick. Feels
Nah,
like.
they're strong as hell. Otherwise, like actual Festus was like strong, and chosen of Nurgle were like the strongest chosen by far. The champion of Exalted Hero, they're absolutely bonkers.
They're insane. Those guys, they don't die and they wreck face.
Yeah,
they're great. But yeah, the problem with Festus is that you kind of start off in the Empire and you think, fantastic, I'm going to destroy the Empire, and the first thing you do is go north because that's where all your cities are, which is kind of counterintuitive, I guess. But
or you can do it like I did and just take over Middenheim and then vassalize the orc, right? That they're in what was it called?
Black
in the forest.
Or something.
Oh yeah, the Wrecker's Port or something on the north coast. Is that the one?
Damn it! We need to check this one out now.
Let me just load up a campaign real quick. It's like,
but yeah, bare minimum, they need to do the fucking tech tree, and also the fact that Nurgle's got plenty of other problems as well, such as his cycle buildings, which are fucking weird. The way he gets units, which again is fucking weird, and it's unique.
Yeah, but it's not good.
It's unique. It's not good. No, that's the problem. It's like it's very unique. It's very thematic. It's great on paper. However, in game, what it means is that your buildings are ludicrously expensive, but also take ages to pay you back any money. Also, all of your buildings give you a little bit of money, which means that
the black pits.
I said it was black something. I was right. It's off.
Anyway, I spend 30 turns vassalizing them and giving them enough land so they can survive.
That makes a lot of sense.
And they take over all of Northern Empire,
I'll tell you
then
what,
I don't have to care.
I really like vassals in Total. I think Total War should be more vassals.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. I'm playing Manfred at the moment. I've managed to get Arkan, Krokgar, and Queek as vassals, and I'm having a lovely time because I'm not having to fucking deal with all this shit.
Yeah, vassals are so much better in Warhammer 3. In Warhammer 2, I used them maybe 2 or 3 times, and that was like almost by accident or just me bullying the other vampire or something. But yeah, it was pretty goddamn useless, but like definitely. But now it's actually useful. Some people might say it makes the game too easy, but no, everything makes the game easier if it's not shit.
I think the best thing about Immortal Empires is when you can kind of just go off and do what you want to do, which doesn't often happen because normally what happens is you start expanding, a faction declares war on you, so you go, okay, I'll kill those guys, and then while you're killing those guys, someone else that you now border will declare war on you, so you go, okay, I'd better kill those guys. And then by conquering those guys, you're then bordering someone else who then goes, I'm going to declare. So what happens is you end up like being drawn in a sort of general direction because people keep declaring war on you and there's no way to stop them because once a faction doesn't like you, they will just not like you forever for the most part.
That is definitely a problem still with certain factions. Like if you play Malekith, you're going to invade the Donuts. Same with a lot of the Dark Elves. If you play the High Elves, you're going to invade the Dark Elves. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, it's that, or you're just going to find fleets sail up to your coastline every 3 turns.
Yeah,
and you're going to have to leave armies there just to fend that off forever. Teclis has sort of a similar problem with Kairos. Like you have to invade the Southern Waste, despite the fact that it's all uninhabitable for you. Because if you don't, Kairos isn't going to leave you alone. So your only option is to do that. I think player agency is a real problem in Total War Warhammer.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they just need to chill out the AI. Sorry, chill out. Well, Swedes have problems with certain sounds.
Well, it was just a Freudian slip about being a big old shill.
Man. I feel like I haven't even played Total War in ages now.
I mean, I play it literally every day, so I just...
Jesus.
I play the older Total Wars now.
I'd be going nice. I play it every day.
I want to play Three Kingdoms again, right up until the point I remember why I stopped playing it.
Actually, I've been playing a lot of Mod Mondays. I've been playing a lot of like the modded factions and shits. They've been pretty good, actually. Yeah, some of them are like pretty decent.
Is that in Warhammer 3?
Yeah, in Warhammer 3. We were playing like the Champions of Undeath or something like that. And it's no, that's Legions of Nagash. But I did that one as well, and with Neferata and with Nagash. Oh. And we also did like the Sea Dragon or whatever she's called, like Yin Yin, that starts in Lustrous. Well, it's basically like Juan Bo, but modded and more fun.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah, and also I did. Which else did I do? I can't remember, but the Champs on Death is really weird because it's like not really lore-wise accurate, and they start you off with such a hard like first couple of battles that you kind of have to just chillax and just recruit stuff for like 10 turns or something like that. And that's very interesting then when you like like just relax in your mountains for like 10 to 20 turns, because the AI kind of has time to build up a proper defense against you. And that's where it gets really easy, because that's actually like that kind of made me appreciate that model a little bit more, because it's just not that incredible stomp that you would have. Obviously, like you can still like defeat most AIs anyway, but just letting them take up and get higher tier units was much better, actually. Like it was a better difficulty setting, I have to say. So I definitely think that if they want to like touch difficulty, they should definitely like have settings so that the AI starts at like tier 3, tier 2, and tier 3.
Yeah, custom difficulty settings would go really well with Warhammer 3.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was nice they added it in Pharaoh. It's just a shame no one's going to play Pharaoh.
Yeah,
true.
It's one of those things like Redfall. Whenever Redfall gets patches, it's like if a game gets patched, if a game gets patches and no one's there to play it, does it really get a patch?
That's fair.
Oh God, when Redfall got a patch and its player count doubled from like 8 to 16, yeah. So sad.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel bad for it now.
Can I hard pivot to a game that I mentioned I was excited about?
Pivot.
Have you seen some of the gameplay for the new Avatar game?
No.
I'm excited for this.
It looks exactly how I thought it would, which is janky as shit, just standard Ubisoft affair. And I could not be more happy, because that is all I wanted. The soundtrack is meant to be good. That's perfect. That's what I wanted. The world is meant to be, Pandora. That's perfect. That's what I wanted. The gameplay's whatever.
So it's Frontiers of Pandora. Is that the one?
It is. It's basically Far Cry, but Avatar.
Didn't we talk about this one last stream as well?
Yeah, we were on about what games we're excited for, and I said that. And then, like, a couple of days after, I saw gameplay for it.
It kind of reminded me. I saw a little bit of gameplay, because usually when I say gameplay or stuff like this, I like I just fast forward and just like click around in the video, and I was like, "This is Far Cry Primal."
Yep, pretty much.
But reskin. But I like Far Cry Primal. I'm like one of those stupid people who's like, "Goddamn Ubisoft, you're gonna entice me once again with your mappy games." I see how this.
There is something about it that just like triggers the party brain. It's like, oh, dots on a map. I can get rid of those dots. Ooh.
Yeah, it's two sides of the same. Well, the duality of men. Yeah. Either it's like, I hate when the map just has a bunch of dots for me to do, and then it's like, see those dots? I can decipher which ones are the fun ones.
It's satisfying though, isn't it? It's like playing World of Warcraft and getting a whole bunch of quests in a hub, and then go like 6 quests and going out and completing all the quests, and then being able to go back to the hub and complete them all at the same time. It's that real sort of like, yes.
If I still had time that I had when I was like, however old I was when I played Far Cry 3, young, then absolutely I'd love that. But it's like, I play games that aren't work related for like a couple of hours a night with my friends, and then single player stuff maybe like a couple of hours a week. I ain't got time to be clearing a map for like
you got 25 plus hours. Play on that.
I'm too tired. I'm just tired, old man. Oh God, this is a complete side tangent. Have either of you to watch the show Lucifer?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. It is so stupid, but I just can't stop watching.
That's fine.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb.
It's literally just it's literally just an IRL anime.
It is so gloriously stupid. I just cannot stop watching. I looked at it on Rotten Tomatoes. Like 3 of its seasons have 100%. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, like there's so many like bad animes where like overpowered character comes in and he's just like the Gary Stu or whatever it's called, the main version of Mary Sue. He just comes in and is like can't do anything, is always the best one, and that's just what he is basically. He just goes in and he's like the best at everything all the time, super charming, has functional alcoholism, goes in there well dressed,
British,
yeah, and that's just what he is.
Who plays Lucifer?
Some American,
Tom,
I think.
Tom Ellis, I think his name is.
That's right. And the only thing I'll say is that the first season is great. He's a little bit just the right amount of camp, right?
Oh yeah.
But then the second series, he just leans straight into camp and then just keeps going. By like season 3, he's the campest thing on the world, and I'm there for that. That's brilliant. But you can really you can tell there's a sliding scale, and he just off the end.
It's just so insane.
There are some shows like that actually 100% like pull that off. I don't know if you guys watch anime. I watch way too much anime, and there's like some shows that just like get on their cringe bike and just full throttle their cringe and they just go slightly faster than the speed of cringe, so they're like just ahead of it, and it's just like the glorious while you're like, I don't know if this is cringe or not, but that was pretty badass. And it's like, yeah, pretty cringe though. Yeah, but they just go like a little bit faster than it, so they just manage to pull it off anyway.
That's exactly it. Like I'm watching it with like my head in my hands from shame, but I'm also like, I just can't stop. Like next episode, okay, I've been watching it when I've been exercising, and I just like stuff will happen, and I just like turn around and like do squats facing the other direction. I just can't bear to watch it. It's sorry. Anyway, so yes, instead of playing Steam Deck, I watch that before I go to sleep and have the sweetest dreams.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah,
man,
ain't
good
got time
TV
for clear
shows
about.
though.
Yeah.
I started watching The Sopranos again.
Oh,
that's a good
one.
I've
never watched that.
You never watched this?
I've never watched The Sopranos.
You should watch it. It's just good acting, good plot and everything like that. It's just weird to watch. It's like watching Oz in today's climate. It's just from a different era, so it's just nice when it's good acted and good for us, but it's like still from a different era.
Mm.
It's like, have you ever watched Oz?
No.
Always Dead. It's about a prison, and my wife was like watching Orange is the New Black, and I was like, oh, this is prison, and like, oh yeah, it's pretty dangerous there and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, this is just like Oz but for kids. And she was like, no, it's pretty hardcore. And I was like, watched a couple of episodes, like, no, this is Oz for kids. And the first episode of Oz, I'm gonna spoil this because this show is like 25 years old or something. So the first episode, they like, you follow this dude. He's like guiding you around. You start like liking this dude, and he's like, yeah, this is the prison system here, and this is how it works. And like, you see like this brutal violence and like how everything is just really awful in this new prison system. And then at the end of it, they just set him on fire, and he dies in a smoldering heap of pain.
And logical next step, sure, why not?
And I made my wife watch the first episode, and she sat there like, yeah, okay, Orange is Orange is New Black is for kids. It's the kids version. Okay, I understand. It's a good show though. I recommend this. I used to watch Spin City and then Oz before going to bed as a teenager.
I'll have to watch. I like to watch whenever I'm fighting a battle in Total War. I'll have something on the other monitor, so I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. It's time to do it, to be honest.
Ultimate relaxing, playing a video game, having something else on the other screen.
Exactly. I mean, most battles in Total War aren't particularly difficult, so I can pretty much just ham-fist my way through it. That's fine. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I finished watching Star Trek Below Decks. Lower Decks.
Oh, that one is good.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I love Lower. It's the best Star Trek.
Best Star Trek since Orville.
I've never watched Orville either. But I think that's because
you have to.
TV.
You can really tell that's what's his name? Chris MacFarlane? No, Chris MacFarlane.
Yes.
No, what the hell? The dude that made Family Guy and American Dad. You really can tell that he had to sell it in as a comedy show the first season, but he really just wanted to make a Star Trek show. So the next season it just becomes more Star Trek, but like with these funny undertones. So like, but it just kind of glides into more and more of a Star Trek vibe instead.
Oh, awesome! I'll have to watch that one. I'll have a list of things, and I'll never get through it as per usual.
Yeah,
as long as
together with those 5 JRPGs in your Steam Deck.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'm definitely going to get round to. I always think that when I'm going on holiday, I'll have time to play my Steam Deck, and then I realise that I'm a father to a 4-year-old, so that just isn't going to happen.
Yeah, on my summer week off, I'd finish the shit out of that last third of a Final Fantasy. And then I remembered in the game it's got like a intermission thing, which is like a second campaign, and I started and I was like, I can't be asked with this again. Like I need to play something else for a little bit before I come back to this. Although it did have a really cool board game in it.
Little palette cleanser.
What was it called? It was like this weird command strategy thing with like 2 or 3 lanes, and you pick units and send them up and they cost different energies. It's very satisfying.
Like a lane battler.
Yeah, what was it called?
You know what's I got something here as well. I saw that you had tried Star Trek Infinite.
I did, yes.
Yes, because I was badgering you about that last podcast.
Because you were shilling for it, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you should buy it. Big Star Trek.
Give
me dozens of dollars.
Money bags. I did try it.
Dollars.
And it was fine. It was.
I feel like you say this about everything.
Hey man, it's not a kiss of death. At least where you're just like,
no, exactly. I'm not really
ever.
into it, which means it'll probably sell quite well. Yeah, I was. What did I think about that? It was. I had some issues with it, and the first one was the fact that I declared war on this piddly little minor faction, and the first battle didn't go well, but I was fully convinced this was going to be fine. But the game just started spamming me with all these fucking like war events. Like it was, they're cutting into your supply lines. And I'm looking at this one tiny planet going, what fucking supply lines? And then it was like every 20 seconds it was, oh shit, this thing's going on. Where? Small
but crafty worlds. Like hobbits, you gotta watch out for those.
It was like, oh, there's been a sabotage on one of your ships, and your fleet is like, my fleet had gone missing. I was like, I don't have a fucking fleet. They blew it up. I mean, so it was
hobbits are the funniest thing.
Come on.
And there it was, picked up by the most unlikely creature ever. Another fucking hobbit. I just love that.
I like the idea of Star Trek Infinite. The problem is, I think the mod is better because I tried the mods the next day and I thought, this is a much better experience, to be honest.
I should probably try this. I never tried it.
It's really, I did like some of the things that they did in Star Trek Infinite, but yeah, it just felt like I do get your point of if you've never played Stellaris before and you just want a Star Trek experience, that's definitely probably the better avenue. But if you've got Stellaris and you want a Star Trek experience, there's a mod which is better, so you may as well just play that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm gonna also just say that as well now that I have time to chill with the game. I haven't played it much afterwards. Like, I'll probably play Stellaris before the Star Trek Infinite anyway, because I mean, Stellaris is still better. But once again, it's like $500 DLC, so it better goddamn be.
Yeah, that is fair. That is fair. Has anyone tried the Crusader Kings 3 DLC?
I have not had time yet.
No, when is that getting released?
I think it's tomorrow.
We're allowed to talk about it if we have. I haven't played it, so.
It's getting released. Then the embargo should be. Yeah, embargo is over.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine then.
I've not played it.
Neither have I. Yes.
So I haven't played Crusader Kings 3 since it came out, and For some reason, the key they gave me all the DLC, so I was like, well, that's nice.
Yeah, same.
So I logged into it, but we're now this is like the third DLC, maybe the fourth.
Yeah.
So I started. I picked because this is the Persian DLC, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I picked the Persian starts. I was like, this is what we should go for. So I was like, I want to go for the easy. I'm going to go for the medium. So I started off, and the number of notifications, I went, I don't have a fucking clue what I'm doing here, because this is like, I clicked on one and it took me to my throne room, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And there's things I could click. I could put banners in places. I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I could put I spent about 20 minutes and I hadn't unpaused the game yet. And then I went, this is too much. I'm overloaded.
The standard
every single
game,
DLC, every single DLC, I go and make the exact same playthrough. That is, I make a custom character who is gigantic. He is the healthiest person you can find, and it's all martial points. And it is.
He's you then. It's a self-insert.
No, he is cannibal witchcraft Santa from Iceland.
So
and he's supposed to take over everything that as much as he can during a lifetime. Starts one point of Iceland. The rules are it's only martial. All the kids have to become martial as well. If anyone doesn't, like you miss one that doesn't get martial education, they're banished. They're exiled straight away.
Holy shit.
And you try to take over as much of the world as possible throughout your lifetime, because you will never have more fun than cannibal witchcraft Santa. And you just go around, you try to get all of your kids into the witchcraft as well. Make the state religion witchcrafts. And this is the best part. No stress ever. You fight wars all the time. And you eat your enemies. And that is a de-stressor. So all it does is just eat people. It does get sick a lot. It's healthy though, constitutional. You know?
So what you're saying is that Scandinavian cannibal Santa he lives a very chill life, all things considered.
I mean, it's Iceland, so it's the Nordics. It's not Scandinavia. I'm just going to be very clear about that.
Basically the same fucking thing.
I'll have you know that Scandinavia is the name of the linguistic peninsula where we kind of understand each other. So it's only Sweden, Denmark, and Norway, because we can kind of understand each other. At least some people can. And we can't understand Icelandic people or Finns, so they're Nordic.
Oh yeah, but Finland, that's like its own weird little place, isn't it? Filled with basically terrifying people by the sounds of it.
Terrifying and very chill people.
It's a weird combination.
It's the saunas.
Oh, well, that probably does explain it. No, that's probably a better way of doing it, because I did jump into the Persia campaign and I'm very confused, not just about what the hell's going on, but who the fuck everyone is. And there's all these religions, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this is. Whereas I think if I started in, Cornwall, I could be like, okay, I know what the fuck's going on now. I know where I am geographically, and I know what the fuck is sort of happening. But I feel like if you're playing a Persian DLC, you just should be, in Persia, but maybe it's a good idea to have a little taster campaign first.
I feel like these games, like you just play like 5 campaigns and then eventually you just kind of get it. Like just make the same mistakes and then eventually, I probably shouldn't do this. It's like I think I've started maybe like 4 or 5 Hearts of Iron campaigns. I still don't fucking know what's going on. I'm just like, I do want to make videos on this because I know it's like a really, it's a huge game, so it must be good. But I just I press play and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? What is going on? It's so complicated. I do not understand a single thing of how to play that game. It's crazy.
You need a PhD to play it, don't you?
Honestly.
Early days of CK3. That's good times. All you did. So what was it called? Subterfuge, right? That's the tree.
Yeah.
And you specialize in kidnapping. That's all you did. And then you would start a scheme of trying to kidnap somebody. Would be like 97% chance to do it. And then as soon as it's 99 or something, you would start a war with them. And they would be like, you want to conquest us? We're 5 times your size, bro. And you're like, yeah. And then as soon as the war started, it would be like, their king would just be like in your castle down. You're like, I surrender. So
this didn't turn out how I thought it would.
So I would just start like as the Scottish sneaky dude, king. That would just always be like sneaky over there, and you would just like see how many times you kidnap and eat the Pope.
Obviously, why not?
It's like the best kind of CK3. I know a lot of my playthroughs of CK3 devolve into cannibalism, but it is pretty meta. So I mean, like, I don't know actually if it's meta. It's people seem to be riddled with parasites and disease, but
it's just people for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting that you always go for the cannibalism, though.
Yeah, witchcraft is hard to get every single time, but cannibalism always a good thing in the game. I
do love Crusader Kings 3 for the stories that you can start with that. And I just kind of, in some ways, I think it's better to play it kind of cluelessly, because the amount of weird shit that can happen to you if you genuinely aren't playing very well is probably more interesting than if you are playing to a certain like really high stat. If you know exactly what you need to do, you probably never make the mistakes that lead to the interesting bullshit that can happen to you.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Last Cannibal Witchcraft Santa took over like Ireland, and then he started subjugating all of England. And then when he was like halfway through France, he took a swim in a pond and he just had a cramp and died. He had fought like 10, 15 duels. Just killed so many people. Because when your martial is really, really high, you can get like other dudes that are really, really like their martial is also really high, and then your army can just like beat the living shit out of like much larger armies.
That does sound amazing. My first campaign, I started off in Cornwall, and I ended up in like Jerusalem. And the only reason I quit that campaign is because several generations down, I got this kid, and I was like, "This kid's going to be amazing," and he was a psychopath. And he had really high stats. He was basically like an absolute horror of a human being. And I was like, this is going to be fucking amazing. This is going to be, I'm going to really enjoy this. And he got to 19. And he got gapped and died. And I was so fucked off. I quit the game. I was like, no, I was going to have so much fun. It's like, he's 19. How the fuck did he get gout?
I've seen so many people play mods now for CK3. It's like it's having a mod renaissance with like these giant mods like World of Warcraft. Warcraft mod, not Warcraft mod. There's like the World of Darkness mod. There's the Elder Scrolls mod, and like a bunch of different things that people are just playing and apparently like enjoying the shit out of. So that's really cool.
I know Crusader Kings 2 had a Warhammer mod, and I know the team are working on a Warhammer mod for Crusader Kings 3, but apparently they don't have the DLC they want at the moment, so they're waiting until that comes out to do it. But I would love a Crusader Kings 3 Warhammer.
You're like, yeah, so Mr. Grimgore, would you like to parlay? He's like, yes.
Right? Would you like to marry my daughter?
Welcome to my Orcish tournament. We will have banquets. Would you like to see my throne room? I have a bone sword here on a pedestal. It gives +5 religion.
You could play as Karl Franz
for Gork and Mork
Mraz on a pedestal. That'd be so cool.
It's the sword for Gork or Mork. You find out. I don't know. I can't read the stats on that.
That would I'd be so. Oh, that would just be so cool. But I do need to try it, because I did see the Warcraft mod, and I did think that looked pretty neat. So I might have to try that one.
Does seem pretty cool. Bone sword.
Bone. Have you tried? Because the what is it? 140k Dark Tide. They get that big update. Has anyone tried that?
I played a little bit. I played like 2 runs.
Yeah. I played a couple with my Ogren. It feels like it used to, but it's more interesting, if that makes sense. So you just got like what it should have been. You kind of feel like that, like this is how it should have been.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different to. Because in Vermintide, obviously we have the different characters, and then each of those had their subclasses, and it was like, you know, you can still get different skills, but you're kind of locked into that subclass. You know, you had your one special ability, whereas this, it's kind of like you've got the 4 classes, but now you can kind of make them a little bit different.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
like
definitely
the Psyker, for example, gets a couple of new things, so they can do like Carillion's magic flying arrow. They just get that as a normal weapon almost. It doesn't insta kill stuff, but it just like headshot stuff all the time, like the most boomer auto aim ever. It's pretty fun.
That's
also,
what that is.
Yeah, the Psyker stuff is it looks really cool.
Yeah, so I think the Psyker got like the biggest improvements. As I was mainly playing Ogre, I'm just like,
same.
Me have shield, me have club, me smash.
I think
love me club, love me emperor, hate chaos. Simple as.
I just wish the Ogren had more interesting weapons, because it's mostly just big mace or dagger that looks slightly different.
Yeah,
which is fine. But I'm like, where's my power maul or a chainsaw or something that's fucking cool? Because all the cool weapons seem to go to the zealots, I think.
Yeah, I always get pretty upset about that, because like the strongest ogre in lore pulls a goddamn bane blade through the desert while being shot at. Yeah, that sounds a little bit OP. But at least you could at least have some weapon that like one shots people with a maul. Because I just one big hammer and one shot cultists.
I think a bane blade as a weapon is probably a little bit OP, but
no, he drags the bane blades, crashed in the deserts, so he saves like a couple of people inside of it. So he just drags through the entire thing. Yeah, I was just like, have this glove. He's like, ooh, it's attached to a bane blade with his hands.
I just like it if you could like have a power fist or something. And just yeah, because otherwise his weapons are literally bit of metal that's a club or machete.
Yeah, the machete is pretty strong. That can one shot people. But I just want a club that I can one shot cultists with. Better.
Yeah, I do like squishing the head. I really like it, but I did only play maybe 8 or 9 runs, because it does. I think maybe it's better if you're playing with people you know.
Definitely.
But if you're just doing pickup groups, I just get to the point where I'm like, I've done this same mission 3 times. It starts to feel like a bit of a grind.
Well, one thing that I think they should definitely like port over from Vermintide as soon as possible. Did either of you play the Chaos Waste thing in Vermintide, where it selects you a random like map of different missions, and each mission you collect more loot. I think you like pick up different modifiers each time, so it slowly ramps up the difficulty, and also it's randomized maps.
Yeah, and then also you get like randomized shrines to upgrade your weapons throughout with the loot that it collects.
That would be a really good thing, because for me, like when I hopped on, I was just like, oh, these are like the same missions that were here when I played in the early access. There's like a couple of new ones, but it all just feels very the same. If you give it something like that with some random modifiers, some progression, I think it'd really, really help out a lot.
I think that I heard a rumor they were adding Gene Stealer cults as enemies.
I heard that as well.
Would be really cool, because it does get a bit tedious having the same enemies all just all the time. And they've managed to capture the aesthetic really well.
Yeah,
but there just isn't enough variety, I think, to keep me in that game.
I mean, it's fun with friends.
Yeah,
but then you have to like find time with those friends and have friends, stuff like this.
Oh god, friends, such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, we're just colleagues. That's fine. I can manage this.
Casual acquaintances,
working colleagues.
Correct. This is job hours.
Get in the overtime.
Was Stronghold Crusade Stronghold coming out definite edition as well? Just came out like the remaster.
The only thing I know about it is I looked at the Steam pictures, and is there a guy in the bottom right that holds a plaque of how much food you have, and his facial expression changes depending on how well it's going? I just saw it in the Steam screenshot and just thought that was like the best feature of any game. I want that in everything. Just a guy holding like a scorecard, and then like he looks sad when I'm not doing well. Yeah,
that's old game design for you.
That's just so good.
I really miss stuff like that. I really miss stuff like that. Like in old Total War games, when you had like a catapult or a cannon or something like that, the cannonball or the projectile would bounce and kill more people. Like in Dungeon Keeper, for example, this is something that none of the Dungeon Keeper spiritual successors have done either. Where you just make the room and you just have like a weird design on, like on the corners, there'll be something like a different type of room, and you'll spawn like a special monster. It's like really small, weird details like that I just really miss from game design. It's just so basic nowadays.
I feel like personality kind of has got lost a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know why they added stuff like that or how much effort it is, but I do miss stuff like that. Or just like you said, yeah, the person looks sad. It's like the advisor in Total War would just look sad if you're doing poorly, or like you could just zoom in and you could just hear people be more angry. Maybe that's a thing though. I can't remember the sound design for the cities.
The inflection of his voice when he says "Ogres, my lord" changes.
I just remember that when Immortal Empires got released, they had to tone down the harbor bing bong sounds for the high elves because I was going insane when I was playing high elves. It was like I was just checking the cities if there was anything needed to be done. It was like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, like constantly. Every single turn, just checking if something was needed to be done or anything at all. You would just hear that bing bong, bing bong. So eventually on stream, I was sitting there like bing bong, bing bong. Being driven slowly insane by that sound.
So Strongholds, is that a new game or is it like a re-release?
It's a remaster.
A remaster. I've heard good things. I've never played a Stronghold game before.
The last one was pretty bad, but the first one is always cool.
That's cool. I'll have to try that then. Oh yeah.
When was the first one
Excuse me.
released? Does it say here on the Steam page? Maybe.
Oh, yeah, is it Definitive Edition is the new one?
Oh, 2001 is when it got released.
Bloody hell.
So a good 22 years after there is like remastering. That's where it says.
Oh.
Nothing's original anymore.
Sorry?
There are no new ideas.
No. Yeah.
I actually played the old one like just last year. I didn't know a remaster was coming out. Still holds up.
It came out 2 days ago? No, yesterday. It came out yesterday. Release date, 7th of November. Interesting.
So that's tomorrow's Throwback Thursday. The new remaster.
Ooh.
Cheating the system, boys.
Nice. Well, I don't have any other games I've played, to be honest. That's all I've played, just Rogue Trader. Which is good. Which is a kiss of death, so.
Well, I mean, I got a couple, but I know we haven't talked about City Skyline 2.
Oh yeah.
We need to do these more often. We can't sit here for like 3 hours every single time. It's going through every single.
And I just like glance at the time. I was like, Jesus, 1 hour 40. We need to.
Did we not? I thought we talked about.
I feel like we did because it was in that we could technically talk about it because I think we were like beyond the embargo when it came out. So we did. I don't think you played it yet because
no,
you stream guy.
Fred, what did you think?
I think it's cool, but it's also like it should have been. If they should have had like 3 or 6 more months to optimize it and make it better. Right now, I'm sitting with a city of like 90,000 people that I'm playing off like just by myself. Sometimes it's chill outs. It's 90,000 people. I'm roughly like 2 million minus every month, and I'm making like 5 million plus. So it's just like even the stats aren't showing properly. So I'm making a ton of money. It just says that I'm losing a ton of money as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw there was something on the Discord about because I don't know if you zoomed down to street level and seen your hideous little little people.
I know where you're going.
Oh yeah, wasn't like the janitors were poking us through their dresses and stuff.
And because they use the same models for children, just scaled down.
No.
Yeah, so allegedly there were no genitals. Apparently they're all Barbie smooth. But some people thought they could see genitals.
I saw like the
sorry,
the version where it was crossed out. So I just assumed. I was like, haven't played it since then to check.
I kind of want to Google it, but at the same time, I really want to Google City Skylines genitalia.
Yeah, so the dev said that no. There was that thing about did you see the thing about the teeth as well?
Yeah, everybody has teeth.
All of the little AI people have their own individual teeth.
Why?
I was watching some
waste
breakdown.
of resources.
I was watching some breakdown, and they were like, "Yeah, everybody has teeth, but it doesn't actually change the gameplay. It doesn't change the FPS if you remove all of them either. It's like, yeah. Game is just janky."
Yeah, I mean, this is because they used AI to generate these hideous homunculi that live in your city, and that's why they look fucking hideous, and 2 have their own teeth and alleged genitalia, but a dev said that no, they don't have genitalia. It's just because of the way the clothing shadow falls on the model, it looks like they have a massive schlong, which is probably as bad as actually having one. But also they're hideous. Just such a why did you do what at what point did you go, let's add AI little people into this rather than let's copy paste some character models that we make ourselves, because it's not going to take very long, to be honest, to knock up some character models and then put some beards and shit on them, is it? And then they won't have their own teeth, which is just weird.
Wait, was it actually AI that generated all the citizen? Is that a thing?
Yeah. So apparently they've got like a third-party program. That's what I think. Now I'm second guessing myself, but I'm fairly sure I read somewhere that they have like a third-party AI program that sort of generates the citizens, which is why they look so fucking hideous.
Fucking AI, just keep it out.
Right?
Like the Galactic Civilizations thing is fine because it's trained on their stuff. It's allegedly curated. It's whatever. It's just flavor text, but why? They're this big on screen. Just literally draw like a stick man, and it'd be better. You don't have to do all this shit.
I respect the art community, and I don't think the AI art is really part of it.
No, definitely not. It's bullshit.
AI doesn't do anything. It just regurgitates trash.
Exactly. In its actual best state, it just spits out something that is the product of stuff that it's learned from actual artists. So in its best state, it's just stealing other people's work and then farting out something that's like just different enough that it's not the same.
Yeah, I mean, I watched a couple of compilations of that, and you can almost always tell what art is made by an AI as well when you actually start comparing them. Like if somebody would just like, hey, here's 10 pictures, show me the one that is made by AI, and it's like it's not hard to see which one is made by an AI. It looks pretty, it looks well, but it's like you can tell what straight away. Like it has no personality.
Exactly, it's
just a thing. Like it's just a background or something. It's just missing those things that make something. It's weird.
Yeah. Infinite monkeys on infinite typewriters could eventually recreate the works of Shakespeare, but they're not waiting that long. What they're doing is they're giving it 5 minutes, just grabbing the closest thing from the nearest.
This got just disconnected for like 10 seconds.
Well, it was a very interesting chimpanzee experiment that I went into detail about.
It's just scientists for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder what happens if we give monkeys laptops. I'm fairly sure they're going to break them. And 2 weeks later, they go, yeah, we spent a lot of money to work out that, yes, they will just break them.
Fucking nerds that just ruin everything.
But now we know.
Yeah, AI trash. Don't use it in games. It's just not worth it.
At all.
No. Was it Xbox saying they've got some partnership with some AI company for like doing narrative writing? And my first thought is, that's going to be shit writing. It's not going to make any sense. It's just going to be very bland and generic, and that's not. We've all seen. Was it Starfield? Is it Starfield? What's that Star game called?
Yeah,
that one. Star game.
I'm down with it.
But they're procedurally generated. Like half procedurally generated or something.
Yeah, exactly. Procedural generation is shit.
Yeah. Infinite amounts of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That game is really one of those. Such a weird game because I played like 50 hours and then I was like, Jesus Christ, this game is really not good. And I was just enjoying myself up until then as well. And it's the first game where I really feel like before I would just like look at people's Steam reviews and it's like, how can it be bad? You have 1,000 hours. But now I understand. Now I actually understand. You can literally have a lot of hours into something and you just don't have to recommend it because Steam's review system is binary. It's either recommend or not recommend. You can still have played something 1,000 hours and then you say like, no, you shouldn't buy this.
I think you can play a game where you're just stacking blocks on top of each other, and you can enjoy that. And genuinely, you know, if you enjoy stacking blocks on top, brilliant. The difference is, are you going to remember particular blocks that you stacked on top of each other? Probably not. You're probably just going to generally enjoy the experience, but there's no standout. And I think that's the difference. By Starfield, where you kind of have these generic planets which just have generic shit on them, compared to, say, Skyrim, where you can remember going to that, you know, that lighthouse on the coast where you go in and there's some weird notes, then you go underneath and there's snow elves. Like, they've obviously like murdered all of the family and carried them down into the caverns below. Or
my gripe with Starfield is definitely not that. I can like play through those things. I can just go and murder the different same places constantly. My gripe with it is that it is so interrupted in gameplay constantly. I hate the loading screen so much. Like, you just go in somewhere, you talk to somebody, get a fetch quest. It's like landing on the planets. Well, yes, going into system is a loading screen. Landing on the planet is a loading screen. Going out of a ship is a loading screen. Go to the next sector is a loading screen. Going to the house is a loading screen. You know, you can, and then you have to go back, but you can kind of like go past that a little bit with like when you land on the planet, you can like say that district and you don't have to go through like 2 of those loading screens. But it's still like so many loading screens all the time. And
so when they actually like load, does it go black and that's the loading screen?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought we'd like gone beyond black loading screens.
No.
I'm just thinking like Elite Dangerous, where there is obviously a loading screen when you go between systems, but they make it stylized so it looks like you're jumping. And even they have, like, you can fly down to a planet, and although you can tell there's a transition, you can effectively just fly from space to a planet and then land on any part of that planet.
And it all looks the same.
Yeah, it does all look. Yeah, it does look exactly the fucking same, because that game is.
Can I do this? I wonder if this will work.
God, what's he doing?
What are you doing? Is it fancy?
You can share
something fancy.
You move all the cameras around, this is going to seriously fuck up my editing process.
No. Everything is going to go look perfect. Don't worry. I have.
You can cut this, right?
I just need to check out how this is going to look. Because I don't want to switch over to it and then it doesn't work.
I'm on the edge of my seat right
I cannot wait to see what you do. I feel like there's something that's going to appear on your head.
No. It is if Bethesda made Cyberpunk, and you understand how many loading screens there are.
Oh, right. I think I've seen this video. Oh, wow. Look at this.
Look.
This is production value.
Holy shit.
You go down. And then, it's the car. Loading screen.
Loading screen.
And then, you just want to fast travel somewhere. Loading screen. And this is basically how it is to play Starfield. And it just drives me insane.
Yeah, that'd be really
loading screen.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, but with, obviously it's a tad exaggerated, but like even elevators, even though like places are connected, they just have a loading screen because it's just faster to do, and it's it just makes me angry.
Yeah, no, that's a fair criticism.
Yeah,
that's a fair criticism. I'll still probably put it on my wish list, and then when it's discounted to absolute balls, pick it up. You know, it's like £8. Like,
I've had it downloaded on Game Pass since day one. I have not launched it. I've not had time.
It's okay for the first 50 hours. Then I just got angry at it. Really angry.
The most gamer shit I've ever heard. It's okay for 50 hours?
50 hours of entertainment, and then I got pissed off.
Yeah, well, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like the first game where I'm just like, what even are opinions, man? What even are they? Because it's one of those games that like really made me introspect as well. Like, is it actually an enjoyable game, or are they just making a gameplay loop that forces you to do stuff? Right? It's like, do you actually care about what's happening?
That's basically every Ubisoft game, isn't it?
Dave slandered this Avatar game that hasn't come out yet.
I don't know.
I'm going to be honest, I searched for that Avatar game, and the first thing I found was some derpy-looking blue guy with moobs. So,
I think
I'm not judging. I'm just saying he had moobs.
What?
He had moobs.
Really amped up the character creator. God, I remember the Avatar game on the Xbox. It was so jank, but man.
Oh, the old one on Xbox 360 or something?
I love that shit. Three what was it like? Technically, like 3 different endings, maybe more.
Red, green, and blue.
Something like that. You had the Na'vi, and then you'd stay with them. You could go like Na'vi or human, and then at the end you could basically choose which ending you wanted. So as a human, you could betray the humans, and I think as a Na'vi, you could maybe betray the Na'vi again. I can't entirely remember. But
bold play.
I know the human. Not betraying human ending. So if you watch the film, it's one of those like giant quadcopter things that is like as big as a town, and it lets you fly that for like 15 minutes, and that's all you get for the entire game, and it's fucking sick. And then the game ends, and you're like, wow, I feel so empty.
Is that right at the end of the game? Like, was it Deus Ex, where you get to the end of the game and it just goes, "What ending would you like?"
More or less.
Oh, no, fair enough. I guess that's one method of ending a game.
It's like you play like the entire game as a human, slaughtering the Na'vi, burning their homes, destroying their religion, all this stuff, and then it's like, would you like to continue your work, or do you think that you've done the bad thing and you should, all this stuff that you've spent the entire game doing, you can turn your back on that? Well,
a little bit of retrospective just seems fine. I'm sure they'll let you in once they realise that you've changed. You're no longer doing a genocide.
But yeah, I mean, it's a 360 game, so I can cut it some slack.
The 360 games definitely had like the most shovelware games of like modern consoles. I think like it had so many janky games. I still remember Kong Skull Island, the King Kong game. It was like a 7-hour game, and everybody bought it because you got like how many Xbox achievement points or something like that per game. Only have as many achievements from one game, and it was like the max amount you would get from just playing the game on easy. So you would get like all of the points for that. So people just bought it just to be like getting that score up, basically. There was so many different games like that. It was good times, honestly. It was a good console.
360 was legendary.
Yeah. And GTA 5. Good game.
GTA 6 is getting a trailer. December, was it?
Allegedly this week.
Allegedly.
Do you want to know something? I've never played GTA 5.
You are the one person that Rockstar has yet to convince to buy the game.
Yeah, maybe we'll release it again.
These are markets.
It doesn't even look the same. They have like ray tracing shit in it now, don't they?
I don't know. I played it on Xbox and I played it a bit on PC with mods. Didn't touch it online. For Red Dead, personally. Red Dead 2.
I've never played Red Dead either.
Oh my god. I love Red Dead 2. Red Dead,
I know.
Rockstar's game design sucks ass, but Red Dead 2's story is just like beautiful.
No matter what anyone thinks of Red Dead, it is the most technically impressive thing that you can play at all. There's just so many like small details. It's like they could have just had like a bunch of NPCs sitting at a table pretend to play poker, but they're actually goddamn playing poker. Like they're pulling like actual like cards in different hands, and then like they're actually playing it. And when somebody's just sitting down to eat, they're just like, you can actually see how they like cut a little piece of the little digital meal and you just like put it in their mouth and that disappears, and then they're done with the meal eventually.
It's insane, the level of detail. Like even just looting people. Like every other game, you just like crouch down and go, I found $6. In that, you like literally like pull someone up, check their pockets, and they're like, oh, found something, put it in my pocket. Oh, you got a pocket watch. It's just the level of detail in that game is glorious, and how I think if you eat more or eat less, it changes how fat or thin Arthur is, and that changes how your stamina works. It's like the game design, like the actual game play design, the story
but later
design.
on, you'll have like weight loss mechanics for people who haven't played this. So it'll be hard to actually gain weight in the ends.
It's like the gap between Rockstar's like storytelling, technical ability, and like their gameplay design is so massive. It's their gameplay design is just, oh, would you like to go to this yellow orb?
I thought the gameplay was fine. Red Dead is like one of those games where you have to guess in the pacing of it and get in the mood to play it. I cannot just like play one game and then go over to Red Dead 2. I don't know if that's good gameplay design or not. But if I actually get into playing Red Dead 2, then I'm gonna have 100 hours right there.
Yeah, I think I started it twice. I started it once, and I think I had like an hour to play it, and I did nothing in that hour because it's so slow to get started.
Yeah,
that's kind of lame. And then came back to it and played it relentlessly for months until I finished it.
Yeah, I mean, like you do nothing if you just have an hour. Like you won't do anything in this.
Yeah, so just slow and having MC and monsters play that. We're good.
Put it on my wish list now. If it ever comes down in price, I may pick it up.
And then the online
played GTA 5. Never played Sopranos. No, never watched even Sopranos. Never played it. There was a Sopranos game though on the 360.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that.
Everything had a game there.
Right? Are we done? It's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll end it. That's it. Done.
That's it. That's gonna be the end point. I'll cut right there. Okay, I'll cut right there. Then.
Wait, shouldn't we end this like actually have like a sign off?
You want? Go on, Fred. No. Take players out.
I think that's going to be it for us today. We ramble on for too long. We need to do these more often. If this one gets enough views, we'll just do one, very soon instead, so we don't ramble on for hours and hours on like the month's latest games. So that'll be it for us. Good night. Like, goodbye, or I don't know. I'm bad at goodbyes. I don't know why I'm doing this.
Later, losers.